battle begin! Job's done.
Do you hear something? Two cards. Oh, he must have been saving one.
Hello! Welcome to Sunday Night Showdown. My name is BrushyTuna, and I'll be your host tonight. I am joined with RonMexico tonight. How you doing, Ron?
I'm doing great, man. You know, I had to set aside my general disdain for you to come in for this incredible match between HeatShock and basedinc, two rising stars in THL. I'm so excited to see these two play.
Yeah, it must suck co-hosting with someone who's way better than you, you know?
You could just go ahead and have that one. I'll press X to doubt over here on my keyboard.
And of course, Oppen tonight is the Hall of Famer, the legendary Saku. How you doing, Saku?
Hey, Brushy, what's going on? What's going on, Ron?
Oh, living the dream.
Yo, that is the most excitement I've heard from Saku.
I know, because it's Father's Day.
forever.
Happy Father's Day
It's
for
Father's
all
Day.
those mother fathers out there.
Let's get it. Let's get an F in chat for Father's Day for everyone out there. I know F usually represents sadness, but like F for Father's Day. Let's get in the chat for
F for
anyone
for
who's here.
all the
We're
fathers.
taking it back, huh?
We're taking it back. It's no longer a sad thing today. It represents happiness. F for Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Nice.
So let's get
I'm
into
with
this
it.
match. Yeah, let's get into this match tonight. So we got HeatShock from Washu Mishas taking on Base from For the Boys. HeatShock has Demon Hunter, Hunter, Mage, and Rogue taking on Base with Demon Hunter, Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior. And we have HeatShock's Demon Hunter is banned, or HeatShock's Rogue is banned, and Based Demon Hunter is banned. Ron, what do you think of this matchup tonight?
First off, these are really interesting bans. It seems to be almost a default lately that nearly everyone is banning Warrior, and we see first HeatShock didn't even bring Warrior, and on his side he didn't ban Warrior either. So I mean, at 7-0, he's a hard person to doubt. Maybe he knows something about Warrior that the rest of us don't. But I was also really intrigued by Based banning the Rogue in that lineup of Demon Hunter and Mage as options to ban. Should be really exciting to see how this plays out with the bans the way they are. Suggests some very interesting and different strategies from both players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were talking about it before the show that we assumed maybe HeatShock would ban Warrior. So you think Base maybe banned Rogue, thinking that Demon Hunter would be left up, and Rogue's just like one of those tougher matchups for Demon Hunter? Or not
That
tougher, but like
absolutely
one of the
makes
harder.
sense. Thinking that, you know, Rogue could be in Demon Hunter counter and anticipating a Warrior ban, wanting Demon Hunter to have an easier go of it. But also just in general, it seems like Rogue is a pretty solid ban right now. It's really made a strong comeback in the meta as of late. And with neither player bringing Druid, thankfully, it also means that
whoa.
Rogue doesn't have a great counter. So it's very reasonable to ban a deck that has a good matchup spread across the entire board.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's pretty solid into everything that Base has brought this week. I mean, even with the secret package, I like a little more into the Hunter Rogue Warrior lineup because they do cast those early spells such as Battle Rage, you know, tracking, backstabs, and all that stuff. So like dirty tricks and even like the ambushes for an early, like just a random early like Serpent Egg is just super huge for the Rogue to get ahead on board. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if I really would have been too off put by any band that Based could have made. And on HeatShock side, I mean, I was sort of expecting the Warrior, but it definitely makes sense to ban the Demon Hunter and try to go after the Warrior, since Demon Hunter on HeatShock side is the only thing that really does poorly into it. So take one bad matchup, since it's Conquest, you're not going to get punished in the same kind of format like you would in Hero, and just let the cards start getting slung, let things fall as it may and see how it plays out.
exactly. In Legacy, or in Pro and Legacy, you're very fine with leaving like up a bad matchup here and there, because like that deck wins once and then it's gone. And then you just have then you could possibly set up for great matches for the rest of your classes. So, it's super exciting to see like stuff like that happen, where like in Hero, you're like, well, that class can just sweep me, so let's get that out of there. But like in Legacy, you really gotta like look at it like, all right, so these two classes are favored against two of my decks, but it's gonna win one game and then it's gonna be gone. So then I just gotta worry about these last two classes.
Yeah, Conquest format definitely lends to different strategies here, and I'm excited to get started. So let's
looks
see
like
how
the players
this
are
goes.
in it. So let's go. Base will be on your bottom for the folks at home, and HeatShock will be on your top. I said pokes at home.
You asked
All right,
for it.
game one, we have Rogue from Base taking on the Mage from HeatShock. Ron, what do you think of this matchup? Who's a little favorite here?
So it's hard to say. This is close to a 50-50. In a lot of aspects, it really just depends on how the early game goes. I think on the Mage side, it's really important to find some early cards to deal with Rogue aggression, and we see HeatShock picking up the Reno. And on Base side, if she can control the board early and press damage, then it can go her way. It should be close to a coin flip.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, even this Imprisoned Overseer or Observer really helps out with that early game aggression, because most of the minions from Rogue are 2 or less health. The lackeys are 1 health, the Feral Cats are 2. So it should really help out here. But we do see the more stealth package here from Base for tonight. Did HeatShock just ping himself in the... I mean, that is a good play around, though.
Fate.
Yeah.
I'm currently
makes sense.
struggling through a spectate bug where I've been able to spectate HeatShock's hand, but not Based, and now Base's hand, but not HeatShock.
Yeah, you just gotta have to keep unspectating them and respectating until it works. I have that almost every night when I cast, so
we'll get there.
We'll get there one way or another. RonMexico, the amateur caster here, doesn't know what he's doing. Just like when he lost to a 5 seed in Legacy to the 1st seed in Pro.
I don't remember that.
I do. Remember Pro Season 1 when BrushyTuna won MVP and you didn't?
Hey, we got a new record on time that it took for BrushyTuna to mention that. That was, what, 5 minutes? Maybe less?
Maybe less. Maybe. Who knows? Tonight should be a good night. There'll be a lot of insults thrown at the casters.
Yeah,
All right, so
there's going to be
some
tons of
very
fun.
Interesting options here from... Yeah, I think Deathwing is definitely the best option. Deals so well with a threatening board that Mage can produce.
Yep.
And I think Base is really on her way to an early advantage with all of this value she keeps finding.
Yeah, because Deathwing does really well into the average power creation turn 8. So, it should be good. Like, they go turn 8, maybe make some 4-5s, 5-2s, or whatever. And Deathwing clears up that board extremely well.
HeatShock does have some excellent cards to deal with what Base is representing right now, though, with the Observer waking up to kill 3 of these minions and damage 1, a Mana Saber to scale right into Reno if HeatShock chose to do so, card refill with Intellect and a freeze, a single dragon makes Mali active, so this is still anyone's game.
Quicksand Elemental. I've never seen that card before.
Yeah.
Not a common one. Probably
No.
taking it just because it costs 0 and could have some small application.
Yep.
Yeah, probably just to trigger some combos in the future turns. Or even, like, maybe
Right
in
now.
the same field. Like, maybe HeatShock builds kind of a big board that base can't deal with. So just neg-2 the whole board for attack and possibly, like, help out win some trades or even let her live an extra turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And some interesting options here since Reno obviously doesn't get a lot of value. I think we likely see an intellect.
Yeah, I like not attacking. Yeah, I like casting AI here and not attacking with the Mana Saber to possibly set up for the C-Mat on the following turn. Just because if Rogue doesn't have the Sapper or something like that, C-Mat sometimes very difficult for the Rogue to deal with.
Very true. And my goodness, just looking at base hand with all the power spikes, the Winged Guardian, the Siamat, the Deathwing, this game's gonna get crazy fast.
Yep.
For now, we'll call this the calm before the storm.
The calm before the flick.
Calm before the flick. I like that, Soccer. Nice.
All right, leading with the Seal Fate.
Ooh, here we go.
Gets a pretty strong lackey here.
Yeah, but I definitely don't think we're keeping this lackey in hand. You know,
Right,
we want to
just
save it for our Siamat. Make
the
sure
card
that
draw.
yeah, just make sure our not a Siamat, our Heistman Targwaggle is on as soon as possible. So turn 7, we'll probably see the Targwaggle, possibly. So I doubt we'll see the lackey here.
I almost thought you said turd waggle there for a second. It's like, what?
Heist Baron Turdwaggle.
That'll be some nasty card.
If you're in the opposite seat, you know, and you see Togwaggle drop, you're like, man, I really hate that guy. So I guess it could be Turdwaggle. All right, so quite a few options here for HeatShock this turn.
And we see Dragoncaster active, but not really anything with a payoff to play for it.
Yeah.
This is very possibly just a Siamat.
Yeah, there's like nothing else for HeatShock this turn. Like there's no other dragons to play Malagos. So we do probably just Divine Shield Rush.
And a Rush. Just going for stats and power.
Yep, the most common of all CMAT combos.
But wait, Based could flick and destroy her own Siamat. Usually not a consideration.
That's true. She is running a CMAT in her deck list, which is a not a common inclusion, but it's still a pretty good inclusion. CMAT just overall is pretty strong with all of his abilities to do. You know, either Rush Divine Shield like we just saw from HeatShock, possibly even just Divine Shield and Wind Fury to set up for the following turn for some big attack plays.
With the ability to draw it and discount its mana cost to 0, it's always an excellent card to consider including.
Exactly. I know Warlock, Quest Warlock has recently started picking up CMAT a little more for their late game strength. So maybe Base was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and I like this play here from Base, just taking a strong line, you know, being efficient with the mana, clearing out the Siamat. Not going to worry about the Mana Saber charging up to 8 on this turn, although we can see that could be problematic with the Dragoncaster and a Deep Freeze available to be played. Could simply play the Deep Freeze.
Yep.
This Caster Khadgar. Yeah, that's a
Caster,
lot of
Khadgar,
water
Deep
elementals. And with Base holding Flick, this may be the time for Flick to come down and deal with 4 3/6 freeze guys.
So Ron, let me ask you, are you more okay with pushing 3 to face than killing the lackey since this was your play, or do you think it's overall better to kill that lackey with your Mana Saber?
It's pretty debatable. I think the amount of power that this puts on the board is almost like bait to play Togwaggle, because if Base chose to use Togwaggle on this specific turn, then that would mean Flick wasn't coming down, as an example.
Okay. So it's like, all right, you can play Togwaggle, and I have 4/3/6 elementals, or
Charging
you
up
can have
to
the
9
flick.
mana here, pressing damage. Excellent time for Reno to just get a lot of board presence here. And HeatShock is in for a nasty surprise with a Deathwing to clear up the entire board here. I strongly expect a Deathwing play.
And Deathwing survives at 1 health. I mean, it'll get pinged off next turn, but that's still huge that it gets to survive through the turn.
Right, just forcing HeatShock to spend 1 mana. As it happens, there wasn't really anything HeatShock was going to be able to do with the mana that would be effective. So it's totally fine on his side. And now, you know, HeatShock's really kind of survived to the power turns for Mage. But Based has a lot of options to still keep putting more pressure on the board going forward. A bit surprised to see the Lackey being hovered immediately instead of the cat, since it can be paired with Togwaggle.
Yeah, do you like starting with Shield of Galakron over the Pharaoh Cat? Because maybe you get something cheaper and maybe combo a little more on your questing.
Maybe she's considering a Shadow Step on the Lackey. And she is, okay.
Yep, okay. Yep, this sets up for easy wand with the Togwaggle next turn. You can cast the Lackey, Togwaggle, cast wand, and still have
what
1
a big
mana left
pickup
over.
off the top for HeatShock with the Arcane Breath. That actually enables a Rolling Fireball full clear.
Huge. We're still waiting for another dragon, though, from HeatShock to turn on this Malagos.
Yeah, he's been waiting on that all game.
Yeah, he's been waiting on it for like, at least...
Polymorph is a very interesting choice. Yeah, I guess just going to take the Polymorph here.
I do like the
hold it
Polymorph.
for a strong target like Edwin.
Yep.
And then, again, just clean up the board cleanly with the ping. Floating 2 mana, not really relevant. And now Based has to put more power on the board. And I expect this is the Togwaggle. Yep.
Togwaggle
Here
number
come
1.
3 0-mana cards. Let's see what we get.
Right? Not that great. Not that great.
Shadow Step.
And that's all right. So we got 1 good card
Fine. Yeah.
and 2 all right cards. 1 feels a little bad because it already costs 0, but...
Dragon Lackeys can always swing a game. And wow, that's an Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
Do you Shadow Step the
Togwaggle?
Yeah.
Very
You can.
reasonable. I think it might be the play since she still hasn't found her Galakron. She also might just want to step Togwaggle for a crown to follow. Interesting that she took the Tyrant here. I guess at this point in the game, maybe the damage burst or heal with Alex isn't quite as relevant as trying to deal with the board.
Maybe maybe Base is thinking maybe this Twin Tyrant can clean up a wide board from either power creation or something else.
And not many options on HeatShock's side for that turn. Made a lot of sense. Just play the Raider, ping down a minion, get your Solarian on board. Based with just an overwhelming amount of decisions on every turn, it seems.
I mean, that's
a gigantic hand full of stuff.
That's what makes Rogue hard, though, is just the turn after turn. You just have a ton of decisions to make, you know? No turn from Rogue is easy.
Based is playing very cautiously. I really like how she's planning out these turns, just anticipating a Reno to come down and not ever going in too heavy on power spikes, just gradually pushing pressure and damage, making each turn a board that is somewhat difficult and frustrating to deal with. And as soon as the Reno comes down, I imagine that's when the Winged Guardian hits the board.
Yeah, Winged Guardian is actually kind of difficult for the Mage to deal with.
Be forced here unless he wants to use the Poly. That's a great target for Polymorph. So
that's kind of what I was thinking earlier with the Poly pickup is, you know, I said earlier that we were going to pick a Divine Shield Wind Fury off Steambat, and Poly answers that very cleanly.
Definitely does. And Twin Tyrant, a pretty reasonable payoff here from that Dragon choice. just as a way to deal with this Bone Wraith and get it off the board. And 4-10.
Yep. Are we equipping Dagger to deal with it, or just double trade? Looks like just a double trade. Oh. Interesting that we put damage on the Evil Miscreant rather than just taking 2 to the face.
Sitting at 15, it may feel a little bit dangerous to take additional damage.
Right. But like against Mage, you can kind of know when the burst damage is coming from, you know?
Some really frustrating draws for HeatShock here. Just really nothing to power spike into yet. He's done a great job of kind of keeping afloat, and what's interesting is, you know, Based playing around a lot of the power spikes that HeatShock could draw, but him not having drawn them means if she had committed to any, you know, overwhelming power on a couple turns in a row, that might have been enough to push through. And oh man, that's Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
8 cards in deck, that's going to be active soon. Might already be active. I don't have a deck list.
It's not active. No, we're waiting on. Looks like just a Praise Galakron to turn it on. Yeah. Literally one Praise Galakron draw, and Dragon Queen Alexstrasza is active.
And
and
there's
ready
a
to go.
puzzle box. Reno might need to be the play here, given that the Winged Guardian hit the board.
As I make everyone disappear.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, that Wing Guardian is quite difficult for the Mage to deal with. Ooh, but that's an Edwin pickup.
In the shadows.
And we can make that big and draw.
Edwin's going to get very big.
Oh, we hit the Praise Galakron.
Yep, and there's an active Dragon Queen. Although,
We got to
okay,
backstab
yep,
something.
she's got to clear out some hand space for.
Life and hope of Wolf Viking.
Here we go with 2
Oh,
0 mana dragons
Alexstrasza.
immediately after Reno gets played.
Yep.
And now back against the wall, facing lethal. Does HeatShock choose to freeze and buy some time, or just rip the box?
I don't know. It's oh. All right, so that kills Varanus and the 3/1.
Oh wow. This actually looks like with the Zephyrus pickup, right? That's lethal if the wide board sticks. Do you freeze and pass?
No, you throw
So-
the box out. Come on.
So you had to trade at least 1 Locust though to set it up. Oh nope. All right, we're gonna go with the play of killing Varanus and the 3/1. So we'll probably see. Oh, we're still gonna go with box.
Back against the wall. Just gonna ask, what's in the box?
Praise Galakron.
Here we go.
Ron's favorite card.
It is Ron's favorite card. Oh, 2 flares.
Double flares. Whoa.
Interesting.
All right, we're drawing
Oh.
A Mass Res is okay.
It's okay. It's not the greatest.
Oh wow, that's more Solarians.
Wow.
9 lives.
So we're at 10 cards here for HeatShock. Can't draw anymore.
Oh, and the freeze missed on what would have been an incredible target.
Yeah.
Still, Base doesn't have a way to just push lethal yet that's easily apparent.
We can drop questing and 2 more dragons off the Dragon Queen though. So that might be the play. Oh, we're just gonna go with Dragon
Life
Queen.
and hope of Wolf Viking.
Another Alex.
Oh wow.
I'll see your Alex with another Alex.
And this game is getting crazy.
Yep. I mean, this is kind of that power of Rogue though, is like
Life.
your discover effects can just be so good in the matchup. You know, all the lackeys, like the spell lackey and the dragon lackey, as we've seen tonight, is they can just discover you some powerful cards.
Imagine having a win condition that started in your deck.
Right?
Oh, burn.
It burns the Dragon Queen.
Oh, not that Dragon Queen would have been a good play on this turn.
No.
Honestly, Zephyrus is in hand, Mali is in hand, a Frost Nova is in hand. There's still quite a few options for HeatShock. I could see a Solarian Prime and a Frost Nova. I could see a Malagos and a Frost Nova.
Yeah. I like playing Malagos
There's-
here. See if you get the upgraded Flame Strike, and then Frost Noving the board here.
I think Solarian Prime is the move because you can follow with Frost Nova.
Yeah.
And it can easily
Ooh.
clear out your opponent or
Okay.
find you lethal.
right, what did we discover? We discovered another Reno. Oh, deep freeze face.
And this is just full shenanigans right now.
Yeah, we definitely just need a Frost Nova this board.
But HeatShock has the ability to easily find lethal, and now based on the back foot, might have to play the Deathwing and pray.
That's gonna like Deathwing is. It feels bad though because maybe it just hits two of your own
Galakron in the
minions.
bottom 3 of base deck feels pretty rough. And yeah, it looks like just have to lead with Deathwing and hope that it hits the Solarian Prime.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
Oh, bad hits. And I think that might wind up being the difference.
Yeah, that should be game.
Zephyrus in hand, I don't see anything remaining that Based has that could really be a rescue.
Not even the Shield of Galakron will even stop enough damage because of that Zephyrus, like you said. So.
Just searching for answers, generating cards, trying to find whatever's available.
Yep. So Base is probably going to...
could help.
Yeah, Base is probably going to try to play like a big Edwin and taunt it up, but the Zephyrus answers that so easily. Yeah, and that's going to be game. Ooh, draw 2 cards. What are we burning?
And I mean, I think it was a good play on base end to just go for the hope. HeatShock hasn't drawn Zephyrus yet, or maybe burns it off the top. But holding Zephyrus. Oh, HeatShock going flashy. I like it.
I like it too.
That's a fancy win as well. Just showing he didn't need Zephyrus. He also had that way.
Yep. All right, so there we go. HeatShock up 1-0 here tonight so far. Mage taking down the Rogue.
Victory for HeatShock in game 1.
Yeah. Like you said before the match, it was just it's a 50-50 matchup, and it definitely felt that way. At any point in that game, it felt like either player could kind of take over that game and take lethal, but
yeah,
HeatShock was able to take it.
I think the wand might have been the real killer for Based, just finding really underwhelming cards off of the wand. If that was a 0 Galakron, if that was a 0 Kronks, the Rogue probably wins.
I mean, even just it being a 0 Galakron because she already had Kronks in hand.
She had it in hand at the time. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think she did.
She did. So that would have just been huge, just to at least hit the Galakron. Bottom 3 Galakron always hurts in this Rogue list.
Oh. And Hearthstone goes fast, so a game you definitely have to shake off, whatever happened in the previous match and keep rolling. We're into a Demon Hunter versus Rogue matchup here, and HeatShock using an early Twin Slice. Not something you could have really done for 2 damage. We needed a hero power too. Granted, it was 0, so still the same basic concept.
Yeah, still would have had to waste 1/2 of the Twin Slice to deal with it. But it makes sense though, since you're gonna play Zumberwing on 2, that you want to get rid of the 1/2 that can contest your board pretty easily.
Holding Sages with no stealth, just gonna have to tempo out a 3/3 Sage, clear off a minion, and this is another match that is honestly very close to 50-50 as well. I believe the Rogue has a slight edge, but oftentimes the Demon Hunter can have a fast start, and the Rogue has an awkward, clunky draw like we see here. And this current match and positioning appears to be slightly more Demon Hunter favored than Rogue at the moment.
From what I've learned in this specific matchup is if Rogue can't get off a big questing by turn 8, they'll probably lose. But Demon Hunter, if they do, Demon Hunter has such a hard time dealing with a questing that just goes unchecked. And that's how
early
Rogue
Satyr is also frequently a problem for Rogue. HeatShock debating on whether he wants to allow the Satyr to die to a backstab. The coin second slice is an option to clear the Sage, but then of course backstab, 2 damage effects like Rogue is fond of having. Winds up making this hard to kill. Pulls the second slice. I do like just using the hero power to keep the second slice back and trading a minion that isn't really relevant. And of course, the backstab clears up the satyr. And tempo starts to swing back in base favor slightly. The skull off the top with Ultra stranding it from moving to the left could create
Is
some
it cold in the
some
shadows?
awkward turns for HeatShock
I
here.
got you, friend.
Going with tempo, just freezing the minion. And on base side, is this the questing turn?
I think it's got to be.
Because-
Yeah.
Because it's protected by the taunt, it's very reasonable. The only real punish is Kane
quest.
that can get through with this Eviscerate Dagger play. As we see, HeatShock isn't holding Kane, so the questing is still protected.
I'm still surprised that actually Altruis is in the deck list myself, but
It just has such a unique ability
Yeah.
that there really isn't any other card quite like it. And there were lots of turns where Ultras went off and was incredibly strong, even without the 0 mana cards.
yeah. But would you save that typically for the near the back end of play?
It's gonna strongly determine on how the board shakes out, but oftentimes that's at least what you want to do.
Okay.
Obviously, the Adept was the other main way to clear the questing adventure, which HeatShock had. So base took a gamble, didn't pay off. Playing the Kronks though to draw the Galakron, I think that's good just to get the minion or get the card in hand now.
Yeah.
You've got no invokes so far.
Yeah,
and
I
they
mean,
just need the value generation.
yeah, I mean, base really didn't have anything else going that turn though. You know, you had a backstab, a Greyheart Sage, and a Shadow Step plus the Kronk. So, you know, Kronks is just your most powerful play to get out there.
Yeah, and now this is creating more awkwardness for base here. For HeatShock, I like the Volpera lead. Makes sense just to get some information on what plays inform your next decisions.
I'm gonna win big.
Huh.
And
I think it's
interesting
either
option.
Twin Slice or Mystery Choice.
Soul
I don't
Split.
think we.
Go Soul
I-Beam
Split.
is also quite good, though.
I think it's
I-Beam
Okay, I
actually
guess that-
enables you to kill the Kronks with your 6
That's
attack
fair.
minion, which
Yeah.
it looks like he is going to choose to do. He can play the Underwing here and punch down the Bone Raid and just take all the power that base has off the board.
Do you think you push 6? Yeah.
And yeah, actually, the punish is Shadow Step, right? Which
Yeah.
Based is holding. But choosing to play the minion for damage now. Obviously, Demon Hunter is a very aggressive class. I can definitely understand the reasoning to push damage.
Yeah.
Is it race to face now? To be
And well, that's
So
a
I
great
like
lackey
this.
because
Yeah.
the Sage is able to kill the 6/4.
So now Kronks can kill the 2/3. We can dagger up, kill a
So
1/1.
technically more punishes than just the one Shadow Step, which could have been the option for Kronks. Pushing that damage right back.
Do you like
and-
leaving the Kronks on board, Ron, rather than Shadow Stepping it for future Galakron?
I think because of the power that it represents, that 7 attacks, 6 health. You know, you're both at 18 damage, or 18 health. I do
18
like that
damage.
move.
Yeah.
18 damage.
18
12
damage.
damage. 18
Yeah,
health.
12 damage.
But here, Warglave's probably going to have to tank 7.
I mean, we got Warglave's second slice hero power, kill the Kronks, and then push 7
Consideration.
yourself.
Okay, the consideration of Altruis. Yeah, that is an option. It finally gets the skull to the left.
Yep.
Still tanking the 7 damage, but at least now better plays for the follow-up than playing Warglaves and hoping that you draw something cheap off the top for skull.
Yeah. Ooh.
And wow, yeah, Based has the ability now to get 2 draws off of Galakron
Yep.
with that top deck. Although
Ooh, Evolved Lackey's not the one you're
now it
looking
doesn't
for.
have a way to clear Altruis, which can be extremely dangerous.
We're gonna go for a second Evolve.
And yeah, going in with the high roll.
Oh.
Didn't get there. 7 damage on, or 6 damage on board for
Yeah.
HeatShock with a skull in hand to make Altruis all kinds of crazy.
Do you play the Battle Mage before casting Skull here?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Just in case you get a card that costs like 2 or 3 mana that you can't fully combo the rest of your hand with Altruis.
It kills the Lackey right off the bat. And then Skull lets you see what you can find.
All right, that's good. That's
Oh,
also
Twin
good.
Slice is massive,
Oh, that's
as
also
is the
good.
Satyr.
Oh, that was such a great Skull.
Oh, wow. And this is so much damage.
Yeah.
That's actually...
Is that lethal?
I
Yeah,
think
it's
that is
lethal.
lethal. I hadn't even counted it yet. 'Cause
Yeah.
we always do those exact plays, but wow. And Based going a little greedy, not playing the Galakron right away, finding the top deck to invoke it one more time, thinking I'm probably safe to 2 cards in hand, but when one of those cards is Skull, you can see why Altruis is running this deck still. It represents a ton of power. If it sticks for even a single turn,
Yep.
it can find that lethal and punish you.
So I
It's
shouldn't
just-
take it out of my deck. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. It's just so weird because, like, at 15 health, whenever I'm playing against Demon Hunter, I just assume they have a possible way of dealing either lethal or pretty close to lethal on the following turn. 15
And
or less
now
is like my kind of
Base
bubble.
queuing up the Rogue one more time, you know, has faith that Rogue can find that victory.
Yeah.
HeatShock down to his final class, being Hunter, his final deck list, and starting off with Zephyrus in hand.
Ooh, 2 backstabs.
Also keeping the Desert Spear, which makes a lot of sense against Rogue's early game 1 health minions, cheap, weak health minions, and lackeys.
In the shadows.
So we got a Britney Spears theme song. Hit me, baby, one more time with Rogue. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Oh, shut up now. Okay.
Shut up.
So Based still with a Demon Hunter and, or not a Demon Hunter, a Hunter and a Warrior in her back pocket if she's able to pick up a win here. This is a unsettling start if she could see HeatShock's hand holding 2 of the strongest cards in the entire deck.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the mana for it yet.
As a Hunter lover, Ron, who do you like in this matchup here?
This is, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but honestly, these all are real. It's mainly because Rogue seems really close to 50-50 in almost every match they play, except against Druids.
Right.
So I feel like this is about a coin flip as well. Personally, I favor the Hunter. I think it has a slight edge, but Rogue does so much nonsense if they find the right things at the right time. Like, let's say Based finds a single Lackey generator, holding that Togwaggle and coin and Shadow Step. Things can get out of hand really quick where Hunter can't possibly answer, say, a 0-mana Galakron with a 0-mana Crocs. But just a little bit of board fighting at the moment, pushing a little damage there. Sets up nicely as a clear for Based. Doesn't have to take it fast. Holding 2 Shadow Steps, just going to go for a little bit of value.
Yep.
And very good pickup with the Bone Wraith. So wondering if she would hold the stealth in hopes of a Sage, but prioritizes just getting the minion off the board. That seems right since the minion can so easily deal with the second part of the Bone Wraith.
Yeah, and plus, since you know your opponent's entire deck list, you know they have kill command in their deck, so keeping them off beasts is as much as possible to help out with either their trades or Or
And it
something
makes
like
it
that is
harder
huge.
for HeatShock here now because he actually has to take that 2 damage in order to clear the Bone Wraith. If Based had tried to prioritize the stealth, it would have been a much cleaner situation.
Right.
And
So it looks like
empty
HeatShock
board.
is only running the
I will act as
the
your
one
stake.
Beast Rush. No Diving Griffin here from HeatShock this week. So
And I personally favor that line as well.
I know
Just
you do.
creates more Zixer consistency. Ran off the top with
Ooh.
1 mana to go, and
Base of Worm.
in HeatShock's 4-card hand, we have 3 Highlander payout cards that can be played in succession with a Grand Slam to follow. The curve could literally be Bran, Zephyrus, Dragon Queen Slam.
Which could
Base
just be
doesn't
lethal
find some
by the time you
power
do that.
really soon, she could be in so much trouble. Fortunately, she does have a Lackey and Togwaggle and Coin.
Looks like we're gonna Shadow Step the Lackey and
just
rush
to
the
take
Pharaoh Cat
the-
again.
Just to take that power off the board.
Yep.
Gets rid of the worm, you know, keeps control of the board, and Bran isn't excellent here, but it still may need to be the play.
If you play Bran here, Ron, are we trading or are we going face for 8?
Well, 2 Shadow Steps are already gone, so Togwaggle represents what, just a 5/5? I think you go face, and HeatShock agrees. King Crush sees face, King Crush hits
Goes face, yeah. But at least for base, we have kind of a clean answer for the King
A
Crush.
really good top deck from Based. She can hold off on that wand for 1 more turn because Flick so cleanly deals with that massive 8/8 that would have created a giant headache. Goes
I mean,
in
we
with-
had answers for the King Crush if we didn't want to flick. We could have seal faded wand this turn if we really chose to trade off our 5/5.
but I think that was the correct play to play Flick and hold back the wand. And now here we have the Zephyrus play. What does it find here? A
For
Blizzard?
6 mana. Yeah, it's probably Blizzard.
What to do?
Maybe a Holy Nova, maybe a Death.
We're gonna find out.
Oh, Chaos
Nova.
Nova.
Forgot
That's
that was a
right.
card
Yeah.
that existed.
Me too, Rondo.
The
Totally
new
forgot.
Demon Hunter card is also a basic card, which means that's a full clear. And HeatShock just trying to get a little bit of board, playing a 2/1.
That's all right.
We
This is a
definitely
good
see
wand
the
card.
wand here,
Oh,
and then it comes down
Ooh.
to how good are these cards. These are
they are
very
pretty good cards. Ooh, Titanic
A
Lackey is
backstab to
huge.
charge up the questing adventure even more.
Yep.
You can taunt the questing, you could taunt something else to protect the questing further. Knowing that Zephyrus has already just been used.
Yeah, you can go
Divine
all
Shield,
in this
Wind
turn.
Fury Siamat is almost certainly the play. How much do you go in? Do you play the Eviscerate and the Backstab too? Just to
I
get
think
the
you
biggest
save them.
questing you can?
Yeah, I think you save them because like the
And
questing's already
HeatShock's
kind of
down
like out of
to
range.
praying for Deathwing, right?
Yep.
Doesn't
Nixia
find it.
Basic Worm.
And that's going to do it. That's going to be a victory
Yeah.
for Based.
I can see.
HeatShock, yep, sees the writing on the wall. Get out of this one. Rogue finally finds a win for Based. And like we were saying, you know, Hunter had all of the power that it wanted.
Yep.
Not quite exactly on curve. It was a little bit awkward to not be able to play other things that would have been stronger to lead into the King Crush and the Zephyrus and the Alex turn. But still, holding just massive power, and it didn't matter because
Yep.
Wand sometimes does crazy things.
Tremble before the might of the elves.
Yeah, it was awkward there for like turns like 3 through 5 where HeatShock really didn't have like a major play. You know, the
now we
first
got
major play
Alex
was
and Bran in hand. Probably not going to be kept.
probably gonna mulligan. Yeah.
Debatable for
I-
Dragonbane, but against a warrior, I'd say that's likely getting
Yeah.
Mulligan 2, and he just keeps the Brawler. On base side,
I would
holding
like
the
to ball
cards she
everything.
wants. Corsair Cash.
Yeah.
2 of them. Let's
If
draw some
I'm
anchors and buff them up. Well, 1
yeah, if
anchor
I'm
and 1
HeatShock,
lance.
I'm mulling this whole hand, to be honest.
I think it's very reasonable to keep the 2
The
drop
brawler.
just as something for tempo.
All right, so we got the 1 drops we were looking for. The only reason why I would mull the brawler is to either get Fell Maul or the more chances of hitting a 1 drop type deal. But HeatShock hits both of them, so it all works out in the end.
Decisions: Battle Mage or Sharpshooter, or coin 2 into 2.
I like just playing the Battle Mage here.
I think generally you usually just want to play a Battle Mage on 1.
What to do?
Debatable to play the Sharpshooter.
Now.
I think use of
Well-
the coin is not your best option, although
Yeah.
HeatShock disagrees. No.
Nope. Let's see the Battle Mage. I only like playing the Battle Mage over the Sharpshooter here in this matchup specifically, is because the only minion that's really going to get played from Hunter on turns 1 and 2 is Sky Raider. So
True.
you're not too worried about a 1-2 and having to clear that by turn 2.
Now, Fairy Dragon is not great in this matchup, although it could activate dragon synergies like Rottnest Drake, which is a reason to hold it. But otherwise, yeah, I think HeatShock just wants to get it on board because it represents the most power right now.
This should be an easy live wire lance. Clear the Fairy Dragon. Let's see what we get off for our Lackey this turn. Oh, Spell Lackey's not bad.
And wow, a Swamp Ooze right off the top. You're going to jam that immediately.
Yep.
Get rid of that value-generating weapon.
No
And
question about that one.
now debating on, is it time to play the Sharpshooter to be efficient with the mana, get more pressure on the board? Definitely going with it. Draws a skipper, holding Armorsmith. That is basically everything that Based really wants to have for those big power turns. Definitely doesn't come down soon, but the pieces of the massive armor gain combo and draw are almost fully assembled.
Oh, we're going to go for it this turn, looks like. I was thinking maybe you hold off and play like War Maul, Sky Raider, but... Oh, you play the Blood
being
Boil.
slightly scary enough and seeing the opportunity to get extra cheap Blood Boil Brute board clear. Definitely a very good play there to just seize control of the board. I think also that's pretty good matchup recognition. I think I would have held it back, but I believe that Based found the best line there by discounting, and just denying board to Hunter is often extremely strong as a play.
That's true. Hunter's one of those...
Considering maybe playing the Scavengers instead. It would
Yeah.
draw 4/6/6er.
But yeah, I mean, Hunter's one of those classes that likes to try to keep the board as long as possible. Because they really don't have that over the top damage outside of like Bran and Kill Command. So
Yeah, and Based holding Cash and Warmaul Challenger. Warmaul as a 1/9 is pretty impressive, taking out the Locust, getting to push 5, clearing the board, and drawing a buffed weapon that could be Anchor. That would be an excellent play.
in on itself, yeah.
The Armorsmith.
We can see Armorsmith more Maul.
Okay.
Ooh. It's not
then
looking
we've
too
got-
good for HeatShock though. The hand really doesn't line up for too much right now.
Yeah, I mean, there is the option to use a kill command along with the Brawler just to kind of protect the board a little bit. The Zixer also deals with this, but it means you have to tank a little bit of damage. To
I mean,
clear off
what are
that.
you kill commanding if you play Brawler, like you said?
Well, you would have to punch face and use your Rusher
Rushman.
and the
Yeah.
kill command to kill the Brute.
That's
but-
still only 5 damage though. The Brute would still live.
Oh, sorry, did I say go face with the spear? You have to tank the damage with the spear.
Oh, wait, no. You're right. You can go face and then cook me. I forgot it does 5 afterwards with the beast.
No, it wasn't 6
Ignore me.
yet.
Yeah.
Eat your flesh!
But another brute here from base.
Yeah, just a lot of power on board. And HeatShock with really nothing that answers this. And unless he
Scale Rider
finds
just-
Zephyrus,
Ooh.
he may be out of luck.
Kill command does kill a 5/4 though.
Well played.
Or the 5/6.
Masterful.
All right.
Seeing the writing on the wall, he could have delayed it for a few more turns, but knowing that there really wasn't much that he could do to get back into that one. And Based playing Warrior masterfully there.
Yeah.
You know, I think the lines that she took to just seize board control and never surrender it with powerful minions was what easily won it for her. And now
so
we've
we're
got
on to the
Hunter
final
Mirror.
game.
Game 5.
Game 5, the best words in all of Hearthstone.
That's right.
So Ron has once again as the hunter lover / hunter. I'm not going to say expert because you're not an expert with Hunter. You just love Hunter. What do you
Would be Tuna without the shade.
right? What are you looking for here in the mirror specifically?
So, I mean, what holds true in most Hunter matchups is the faster Hunter wins.
Okay.
So, you really just want early game aggression, you know, and
So would you say
Based in a
Felmaw on
great
1
position
is
with Coin
pretty good?
Felmaw.
Yeah.
Coin Felmaw into Scavengers is really strong.
Yep.
On HeatShock's side, he doesn't have much to do on this turn. Pressing the button on 2 doesn't feel great, but the Explorer and Rotnest and Bran in hand lead for some good follow-ups. Based, just gonna draw that beast.
So Base
Does
is
have a
playing the
different list.
Base is playing the GM list of Faceless Corruptor, Diving Griffin, and Zephyrus as your rushers.
Oh wow, that's another Rotnest.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And Felmaw hits exactly where Base did not want it to go, dying to the poison minion.
Anywhere but there would have been great. But that's all right. We have a 6/2 rusher.
And yep, the
Draws
6/2
faces.
is pretty much going to force a kill command unless HeatShock finds something better. It's possible we could see Fairy Dragon ooze, but Fairy Dragon
Ugh.
would turn off one of the rot nests.
Yep. I like just kill
Yep.
commanding. Just because we're going into that turn 5 into 6 back-to-back to deal with whatever Base might play.
And
because
Base has a really good setup for the Faceless Corruptor, which it looks like she wants to do. Just get the weapon online.
pass turn. Yep.
Holds back
but-
on the charge, which
Gonna get
just be
punished.
far too tempting to play the ooze. And yep, that's what happens there. So now Faceless with no targets.
Yeah. I mean, but that feels all right, though, because, you know, the Highlander Hunter only runs 1 of 2 weapons. Either the Desert Spear or the 3/2 weapon that doesn't lose durability if you have a dragon.
Right, but holding that Varanus especially, that feels rough on Base side to have to lose that weapon that generated so much value
Yep.
for you with Faceless and Varanus granting easy clears. Man, these explorers really like to offer Rotnest Drakes, and these players understand, yes,
Yep,
it is
that's
the best
where you wanna
card
go.
to take. I think I will take a Rotnest Drake, thank you very much. Oh,
Probably
that's
just
a
see a
big
Rottenness
pickup
here from.
with the Og Merchant just to go a little bit wider, protect the Rot Nest if he chooses to. Obviously, he can't see that Based is holding a Rot Nest.
Probably.
Yep.
But I think it's still correct, regardless, to give your Rot Nest Divine Shield. And
I
now
agree.
Based in a rough spot.
Because you want to play around what their possible rottenness that they already have in the deck, you know. So you don't want to leave
Dragon
us.
Bane feels bad here. Faceless
Every-
feels bad here. Rot
Everything
Nest
feels bad except for the
could be
rottenness.
amazing.
Let's see.
Could be bad.
Oh, the worst possible hit, and now
And
we
at
either go
this
rottenness
point,
hero
I
power
think
or
Brand
brand.
just comes down and we jam
Yeah.
Face for HeatShock. This is just, okay, I've got power.
Yeah.
Let me send it all Face, and this could be the game-winning play.
Oh, we're deciding on whether
Debating
to
on
trade
whether
or
or
not.
not to kill the Rot Nest since the Divine Shield has such value here. Definitely reasonable.
I like going face. I think it's the right play, just to go face. But decide otherwise. I only like going face there because Zephyros does a full clear at 7
Base
mana.
really doesn't have an answer though.
No.
I think this is just game.
So we got, yeah, because we can go like Zixor or Kill Command to kill a 3/2 and a
Yeah,
6/4, but
she's
that still
looking
leaves
through like
lethal.
what possible things do you have?
Yep.
King Crush just smashes
Well
your
played.
face, and that's gonna do it.
Yeah, base just passes. like,
Thrilling
lethal.
series. You know, based fighting back from the brink down 2-0 to take 2 games, and in the
Yeah.
Hunter mirror, HeatShock was the faster Hunter. Bran on 7 wins games.
Yeah, and that's huge for, or that's not good for Washu Mishas. I mean, they are ahead in as the 1 seed by like 20 points, but you know, they only have 7 points going into their last game of the week, so it might allow other teams to catch up and push them out of that 1 seed.
Yeah, and can I just say, congratulations to HeatShock. That is
Absolutely.
continuing an undefeated season in pro so far.
Yeah.
Do we have time for an interview?
Absolutely. We only have 1 game tonight, so if HeatShock
Sweet.
wants to get in here, we'll let him in. But you know, it feels good to see someone else go 8-0 and possibly take MVP Pro from RonMexico. You know,
Yeah, I saw that coming.
anyone that's not RonMexico, I'm rooting for
So
MVP.
welcome,
Hey,
HeatShock.
HeatShock.
Congratulations. That was an exceptional series of games. Way to go.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
HeatShock, I just
Um,
want to say you got to keep winning because I can't allow, or I refuse to allow RonMexico to win MVP and Pro. So you just gotta keep doing your thing, man.
All right, yeah, I'll keep trying.
Thank you.
Were you a little nervous there
I
at the
messed
end?
up bad this week, but
Yeah.
it worked out, I guess.
It worked out, I guess. I mean, I guess that's all you can really say. It's like, yeah, it worked out. I won, I guess.
Yeah, I probably should have brought Warrior, but somehow it was okay. I guess it would have just been the band deck anyway. So
Yeah, were you shocked by base banning your rogue? Like, were you
Not
expecting
really.
that coming in?
I figured, well, Demon Hunter's the best deck, but all of her lists are teched for it. She's definitely ready for that one. So it's not going to be Demon Hunter. And
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be Mage because it didn't really make sense with the lineups as much as I am good at that deck. So I was like, well, it's probably Rogue or Hunter. So I think
Okay.
that's pretty smart.
You don't think
Solid.
being the mage expert on Vicious Syndicate would make people ban
Yeah.
mage? You know?
No, that's definitely a reason, right? I know, especially I talk with Diamond a lot, and he's obviously pretty involved. So I thought, well, maybe he would tell her about my mage experience and convince her to do that, but it didn't happen. I don't know, I was pretty happy. I was really good. I really liked how I played the first mage game. It was a weird hand.
Yeah.
It was so slow.
It was.
But,
You had
Yeah,
what?
it's
It's 7
just
drop,
turn
8 drop,
after
10
turn
drop,
where you
8
were
drop.
waiting on
Like,
dragons and just
I
no
was-
dragons to be found.
yeah, I was looking at my deck tracker, and it was like I've drawn 2 of my cards for 7 mana, and there's like 6 more in the deck still. So
So
waiting
I did
to
actually have
end
one
that.
thing that I was really curious about, given that you brought up that game. There was a moment when Reno cast the Swarm of Locusts. Did you ever consider using your Frost Nova there with Zeph in hand to go for the Bloodlust lethal?
No, that's definitely interesting. That wasn't something I had thought about. I think that was the turn when I had the box, right? So I
Right,
was
yeah, you
thinking
played
yeah,
box.
he
maybe
played
this
box
bloodlust
instead.
doesn't get there, and I was really worried. I knew the box would probably get me value, and my hand just had none of it. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I need to use
I'm
this
never
turn to get some
disappointed
cards.
to see box.
Yeah, right?
We're good with that move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you had 3 cards in hand when you casted box?
yeah.
3
I
or
had nothing.
4,
It gave me a
so
full. It burned cards. It
yeah.
gave me so many cards.
It drew you so many cards that you burned like 2 cards that turn.
Yeah,
Well,
that was some nonsense. But man, you had Swamp Oozes at some really incredible times. Swamp Ooze was kind of a mini MVP of this series for you here.
Yeah, the Swamp Ooze was good. The Warrior game I messed up, and I didn't trade the 1/1 in, and it was a throw. and I, I conceded out of shame on that one. But the hunter game, yeah, the ooze was perfect. She didn't swing with the desert spear, so I'm pretty sure she had Varanus. That's why I did the divine shield on my 6/5.
Yeah.
Was because I'm like, oh, I can trade into Varanus because she didn't use the desert spear, so that's
Well,
definitely
Yeah,
fine.
I was
She was looking
surprised
at-
that she held back the swing. I thought it was, and she actually messaged me after the game saying, "Oh, so I was supposed to swing there, wasn't I?" She was actually holding a faceless corruptor in hand as well as the Varanus. So
No, that makes perfect sense then, because there was nothing to hit that turn. So you want to swing on 4, 5, and 6. I probably would have done the same thing, honestly.
oh
Yeah.
well, I would have just said to go ahead and swing because you have 3 charges, so use one now to try to get a minion on board to contest. And if it doesn't get cleared, like it forces you to clear it, or you just have that faceless target already up there. But I can see the logic behind
Yeah,
going
it just
those
the way it
consecutive
works out with
turns.
Varanus is you can't swing every turn and still have the Varanus Desert Spear. So if there was a
Right.
turn to not
True.
hold, to not swing, it was probably that one, right?
Agreed. Yeah, there was logic between each decision there for base, whether to swing or not, and you just the fact that she decided not to swing just worked out so well into your
Yeah, it
your
sucks
swamp
so
boost.
much to make the right play and then just get punished for it.
Yeah,
That's the worst feeling.
But
it is.
all of those matches were really exciting. And then at the end of it, of course, coming down to the Hunter Mirror, after that, Ooze kind of picked up a huge swing for
I
you.
just hit the nuts that game.
Bran on 7 just wins games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, she was actually finding rot nest drakes off of her primordial. You were finding a rot nest off of yours. It was really funny how
Yeah.
that card's like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and offer both these players the best card you can.
Uh-huh. No, it's a great series though. Lots of back and forth games. Some of those were really close, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
always-
I was so excited to cast this. The two of you are serious rising stars, I think, in THL. Both of you in contention for crossover player of the season as well. So I think you really lived up to the billing on both sides. Gave a lot of entertainment for the group here, and I hope that this is something we can see happen again at some point. Anytime you two would match up, I think would be a great set.
Yeah. No, I definitely am looking forward to seeing her in the other series because that was a great game.
It was, yeah. There was no real actual misplay. Every play was so tight and so well thought out. It's one of those great Hearthstone games that you're just happy to see or cast. Just every play just makes all right, this is why they're doing it because of X, Y, and Z. No really oh, they messed up here type deal. It was just fun to watch.
I was just looking at the Pro Series right now. You guys are, it's pretty close. So it's 9 to 12, I think is what the points are right now.
Yeah, it's just on Agonir to see how it goes.
Yep. 9 to 12.
Yeah.
Because if
whoever wins that match wins the series.
Agmar's
right?
got a sweep for you guys to win the week, right?
I think so.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Agmar has to sweep Smork to win the week because you need the full 4 points to take over. So if 4 of the boys pick up even 1 point, it's a tie, or if they pick up 2 points, it's an automatic loss.
Although on the bright side for Washu, I don't think you're really going to need too many more points or wins at this point.
We could get 0 points 1 week and we'd still be in first.
Yeah, you're up by 22 points on every day we're Triflin.
Triflin, yep.
So
who is losing right now pretty well, they lost.
So. Yeah, they already lost. They lost to Aeon.
Oh yeah, that's a 16-7. So Aeon is actually surging at the moment too.
What was that, HeatShock? Sorry.
Our last 2 matches are going to be pretty tough. We've got Bad to the Bone and Aeon for our last 2. So I'm we got to get the points now. We don't want to it's good that we have that lead,
Yeah.
I don't want to see it disappear.
You got Every Day We're Trifling, Bad to the Bone, Tap Last, Aeon, and the Unknown, all kind of not really close this week, but after this week, they're all going to be nipping right on your heels for the first place slot going into playoffs.
Yeah, 3 weeks remaining after this one. Washu's schedule includes Due Process next week, and then of course closing out Bad to the Bone and Aeon. But spoken like a true competitor there, don't want to miss a single point, never taking anything for granted, and just keep that focus all the way through
Yep.
the playoffs.
Yep.
Try to bring home a title.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because at one bad week from any team in this top 5, from Washu, Misha, Everyday We're Trifling, Bad to the Bone, Tap Last, Aeon, and the Unknown, can cost them a whole playoff run. You know,
Definitely.
so it's coming down to the wire these last 3 weeks in pro, and it's super exciting to kind of watch it and see it unfold.
Just what we all want to see. Tight
Exactly.
playoff races are fun.
Yep, exactly.
I think this is one of the first pro series that we've had it this close. I think outside of the first place team, really, but
yeah,
it's exciting. So,
It
well,
is
thanks so
exciting to
much.
see.
Thanks so much for joining us, HeatShock.
Yeah, HeatShock, do you have any last shout outs, comments you want to make?
No, I mean, a shout out to Base for a great series. Definitely looking forward to playing her again. The good battle for a crossover champion.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
thanks for the match.
No problem. Thanks for casting with
thank
us.
you.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks to you guys too.
All right. So that pretty much wraps up our lovely showdown night. So exciting games.
Yeah, it's really sad that we only had one match tonight, because that one match was just so exciting. That'd be so cool to like run into a second one here following. So, you know, all those people in chat that maybe they're thinking like, oh, I could have been on stream or whatnot, you know, make sure you let us know in the forum when you're signing up for your weekly match that if you want to be on stream or not.
Or just hit Donde or myself up and or Lotus. Any one of those.
Actually, you could probably hit up anyone that's ever casted or anything like that, and they'll get you to the right place of where you need to be on stream. Like if you hit up me or RonMexico, you know, we're not the ones to set up your stream match, but like we'll pass it on to the correct people to get you where you need to be.
We know people.
We'll get you there.
Yeah, we know Saku, and Saku's way above us. So you know,
Saku is
we'll be like, Mr. Saku, we have a match for you.
Excuse me, sir.
Please, sir.
Excuse me, sir. May we have another? So,
all right.
In fairness, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to follow this particular match tonight. It's definitely a great one to close out on.
Yeah.
If we only have one match in a night, I'm glad that it was a match like this where you know, it was so hotly contested back and forth.
Yeah, it was like I said earlier, like every turn just felt just perfection. Each turn was just so perfect, and everything just led up to like, all right, where they're going to play this, let me try to play around this. You know, sometimes they got punished, but sometimes, you know, they made the absolute perfect play, and that's
the best
great
read
to see
for the moment. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. It's just great to see week in and week out type deal. That's what I love about THL is that you get to see some of these great matches week in and week out. You know, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you get to watch these awesome streams put on for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap it up a little bit with the announcements for some of the shows that are coming up next week.
Yeah.
So we got
especially that Thursday show.
That Thursday show. I don't know what you mean,
They got a
man.
special host this week on Thursday. You know.
Oh, sounds like a downgrade, man.
No, dang. So we got Wild Note on Mondays at 9 p.m. Usually hosted by Marty Brodeur, aka NHL New Jersey fan. It's me, Mike V, and I believe Memnarch. I'm not sure if they have a special guest this week. Then we have the Saloon Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's the Big Ted, Sage, and your boy RonMexico. Do you guys have a guest this week?
So yes, this week we are going to feature Disco from
Disco.
No Pros Here.
Ooh,
Awesome.
That's a good guest. That's a good guest.
Then we have
We're excited. Yeah, it should be a blast. You know, we haven't had NPH on Saloon yet, so we're all excited.
a very good selection. So we got Hearth Center with Donde, Two Star Mako, and Lotus Night there for Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we have Tavern Talk Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. Who's our guest or who's hosting this week?
So I will be hosting Tavern Talk this week with the typical crew. But Ducharmo I think he wants to focus more on opping than trying to lead the show. So I'll be leading the show while Ducharmo ops this week.
Very good. And so it's Ducharmo, yourself, and usually JR Juggler, correct?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool. No guests.
Not that I know of right now. I think it will just be the three of us this week, but next week we should have all three of us plus my Onodon. Maybe I might
Nice.
be on or off that show, so it'll be
Banned.
I know.
Be
July
banned from this
16th
show.
we're gonna have July 16th we're gonna have this special cast crew, RonMexico, who's inferior to BrushyTuna on Tap and Talk.
Don't listen to him. BrushyTuna is the queen of lies.
There you go.
I just want to say, Ron, that this whole show you've had a big red X through your face, and that was my All-Star team's logo for when we beat you in Pro Season 1.
That's right. I've adopted it as my own.
Yep.
I've adopted it as mine.
Created by me. So that was the secret when it happened. So
I like the red X.
It looks good. It looks good because we get to cover up most of the image that you've posted for
There
your
you go.
average picture. So
Yeah.
at least something looks good on there.
All right,
You know?
so we're going to close off with the Friday night fights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Schoolstone, which could be Saturday or Sunday, usually in the afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, or whenever people are available. Salty Saturday with Dawn Day, and I think Dano, or could be another host at that time. That's usually at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we have the show here with Sunday Showdown with your various artists, as I call it.
Always has Saku plus other people.
Yes.
All that really matters is Saku's here.
And if anybody is interested in casting or opping, don't be afraid to shout out. We're open arms, happy to help out anywhere we can. So
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, if you're down to get streamed or you want to cast, like hit up anyone that you know that is casted, or so that way we can either get you, either that person's going to be the right person or that person gets you to the right person to assist you in what you want to try to do. So,
all right. Final words, guys?
yeah. Wash your hands, be safe out there. Wear your mask if you're going out, the coronavirus is still real and it's going up in cases because a lot of places have opened up. So try to keep yourself safe as long as possible, hopefully this will be all be over soon.
Yeah, that transcends any other things. Definitely listen to Tuna when he talks about that for sure, because that's important. Just want to say appreciate everyone who tuned in. We love all of our viewers and really appreciate just spending some time with us on a Sunday watching some fun Hearthstone.
On a Father's Day, thank you for all those fathers that were watching.
Once again, if anyone in chat's still here, press F in the chat. I saw one
For
person
Father's
do it
Day,
earlier.
yep.
Let's end it all with a nice
big
chain of Fs.
fat
End it out
Fs.
for Father's Day.
Let's do
Fat
it.
Fs in the chat. Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Job's done.
Do you hear something?